the less a sense of internal security we have when we're jumping into a relationship, the less we'll be able to identify red flags when they come up. Would everybody agree with that? I'll repeat it in an easier word, in easier phrase, to say that the more needy we are of a relationship, the less we're able to identify and keep away from red flags. The more quote unquote desperate we are to create connection, the less we're able to identify the things in somebody else that don't really serve us. So what is a red flag in itself? A red flag is basically something that stands out. You take the color red, right? I mean, the color red in itself stands out to us. It's something that stands out, but doesn't just stand out as something that's remarkable or good. It stands out as a characteristic or a trait or a behavior or a mechanism or even just a situation that someone may be in that is a warning sign for us. So remember, a red flag is meant to serve as a warning sign. The reason they're actually called red flags is because they're meant to preemptively give you a warning rather than when you get into it and then get hit by it. That afterwards is no longer a red flag. You've now evolved into witnessing somebody's like personality trait or something that you've already created a connection with. Whereas if you are careful enough for yourself, if you are particular enough for yourself, if you have done enough of the work of the healing on yourself, if you've created enough awareness, you can spot this warning sign of a person or a personality before you get into it, which then prevents you from getting into a relationship where you're going to create a certain amount of heartbreak, a certain amount of relationship challenge, and ultimately a certain amount of dysregulation for yourself and your nervous system. So why I say this to you, why I'm bringing up this topic is, I cannot tell you the number of times I have been in, and I've been doing this for years now, that I've worked with people and they say to me, oh my God, Yats, I did not see the red flags when they came up and this behavior suddenly showed up in my partner. And someone said that to me, I remember after, I think she was talking about after 12 years of marriage, where she was like, I suddenly noticed him doing this and then I caught him cheating soon after. And I said, did you at all notice any of these behavioral tendencies before? And I don't mean that they have to have cheated like anytime before in the relationship, but did you notice certain behaviors that led to the final product before? And they were like, no, there was nothing. They didn't show up. And I said, okay, then let's journey through this together. And when I sat with them and I analyzed their relationship and the signs that they may have seen, or the behaviors that even they performed to their partner, I found out that they were unconsciously ignoring them. I found out that not only were they unconsciously ignoring them, but they wanted to pretend like they didn't exist so that they could pretend like that relationship would continue for as long as they wanted or wished. So one of the biggest things about red flags is that we ignore them. We ignore them until later on in the relationship, they jump up and hit us in the face. So in many of our relationships, if you were to evaluate, and I want to ask you this question as a general for all of you guys, first to yourselves, how many of you have been in a relationship where you ended up with some huge pain or dysregulation or huge challenges, but if you had paid attention to the relationship, if you had paid attention to how you needed to protect yourself and love and validate yourself, that you would have seen some of the warning signs way, way, way back? I'm going to raise both my hands because I've been there like way too many times. As you can see, that's literally almost every one of us. The warning signs sometimes come in the signs of, like, our friends saying, this is not a healthy relationship for you. They come in the sense of us saying, oh, I have these needs of maybe marriage or children or whatever else, but this partner doesn't want anything else, but I'm so in love with the partner, I'm willing to sacrifice and compromise on my own needs. It comes in so many of those little ways where if we were able to hold true to ourselves at the start, we'd be able to catch them much before. And we'd say, I have also heard another thing where someone said, I've wasted so many of my years in this relationship. Now, we want to prevent that from happening. We want to prevent that waste of those years from happening. And how we do that is by identifying these warning behaviors when they start showing up in the beginning. Now, another thing is, not everybody's red flags have to be your red flags. That's another thing. Someone else may have a particular thing of how they draw boundaries or space or whatever else. So what you need to realize is red flags are always a reflection, excuse me, always a reflection of where you're at and what your needs are at. So you need to come back and prioritize your needs. You need to come back and prioritize where you are at. You need to come back and prioritize what your emotional state is or what you're looking for in a relationship.
Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.